we have two special guests this morning. I'm going to introduce them, and when we get, well, I'll make the other announcement. I got a few more announcements. I'll just make them when we're done this morning before we dismiss. First of all, I want to introduce Mr. David Kirk, who works at our central office in our production facility, but he is also a graduate, or came through what then was it 5-6 center at that time? 5-6, same building here, and he went through the middle school and OHS. So Mr. David Kirk, who works at our central office, is going to introduce our special guest.
How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody doing well? It's Friday. Fridays are always good, right? Well, as you can see, we do have a special guest. Does anybody know who this is beside me? Very good. All right, I'm going to give you a little background information on her, okay? She's an Ohio County native. Miss Ramsey Carpenter was named Miss Kentucky in 2014. So what's that mean? This year, she was what? Very good. Carpenter is a graduate of the University of Kentucky with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Special Education. As Miss Kentucky, Carpenter serves as the spokesperson for the Kentucky Department of Agriculture's Kentucky Proud program, which encourages consumers of all ages to purchase products produced in Kentucky and to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So without further ado, Miss Kentucky.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for being so welcoming. Are you all having a good morning so far? Yes. And like you said, it's Friday. I'm sure you all are excited about that. Ready for that long weekend? Yes. Good. Well, I'm happy to be here because you all are really close to home. Whenever I was growing up, I was on the swim team, and a lot of times I came over here for practice. Do you all know where Owensboro Mercy Hospital is? Yes. There's that great big pool in there. I used to come in there for swim team practice all the time, so I've been to Owensboro plenty of times. But it's good to be here today and to be here as Miss Kentucky. I hear at this school, you all are encouraged to be good leaders. Is this correct? Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, being Miss Kentucky, do you think that's just about winning a pageant? If you think it's just a pageant, raise your hand. I see a few, but put them back down because that's not what it is. It's about a job and it's about being a leader. Because this year, I just have 1 year to do it, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's a great opportunity. And so I'm able to be a leader this year. I get to go all across the state and talk to students like you all in all the different schools. And to me, that means a lot, not only because I enjoy talking to you all, but guess what I'm going to be whenever I'm done being Miss Kentucky? I heard it. I'm not going to be Miss America. I already tried for that. Something to do with school. Teacher. That's right, I'm going to be a teacher. So this year, you all are kind of practice for me for that, too. But it's good to be here to talk to you all about what it takes to be Miss Kentucky and be that leader. Because this is the same kind of stuff you all need to have, too. One of the most important things to be Miss Kentucky is I had to be really, what do you think? Smart. I had to be really smart. I had to make sure that I could think on my feet or be able to answer questions, because something that we have to go through, what's worth the most points towards our winning, because there are points to get to Miss Kentucky. The most points you can get are for your interview. Do you know what an interview is? Okay, where so they ask you the questions. So I had to be ready to go in this interview room, and it's the first time I see our 6 judges. So at this point, they're strangers. I have no idea who they are. And then I walk in a room by myself with them, and they ask me anything they want to. Anything. It might be, what's your favorite subject in school and why? Okay, it could be something like that. It might be, what's the state motto of Kentucky? They actually asked me that this year because I'm representing the state. Does anybody here know the state motto of Kentucky? I saw your hand first. What was it? Very good. Congratulations. You wouldn't imagine sometimes the middle and high school students who don't even know that one. So very good. They can ask you stuff like that. They can ask you about war. They can ask you anything. So you have to make sure that you're very smart. Because I learned about United We Stand, Divided We Fall when I was in 4th grade social studies. But if I hadn't learned it then, I wouldn't have known it. And I may not be here today as Miss Kentucky. So what you all are learning now might be important to you all later in life, no matter what it is you want to do. Do you people in here want to be doctors, lawyers, teachers, athletes? Okay. And there are all these different things. Does anybody in here want to be like a farmer? I really love Davis County. I see some of those. Okay, put those hands down. That's another really cool part about my job. I work with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. You know what agriculture is? Like farming, raising things, growing things, all those wonderful fruits and vegetables. Because that also goes with another part of being Miss Kentucky for me. Another part that helped me win is I have to be healthy. Because this year, like I said, I'm going to be going all over the state. One, I want to be a good role model for you all. But two, I have to take care of myself so I don't get sick. Because guess what? Miss Kentucky, you can't take sick days. Because the job is too important. So I have to make sure that I stay healthy, so I have to get plenty of exercise. I have to get enough sleep. We know sleep is really important. And then I also have to make sure that I'm eating these foods that are good for me. Well, working with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture and talking about Kentucky Proud, those are the fruits and vegetables, things that are grown here in the state by Kentucky farmers. In a nutshell, what that means is it gets to your table a lot faster, so it's fresher and it tastes better. And who in here wants their fruits and vegetables that taste better if they're going to eat them? I know I do, right? But that helps because I can help that to keep me healthy throughout my year. Another really important part about it is I had to make sure that I was graceful, right? We have to make sure that we're graceful so we can go out and be composed, that we are really easy to just walk around and be able to talk to people. I'll tell you a little secret though, I probably trip at least once every day. Do you believe that? Well, I do. But it's so good. And I was talking about talent earlier. I brought in a big black case. Does anybody have any idea what my talent is? What is it? You all already know. Yes, I do. I played the fiddle. Another really cool thing about being Miss Kentucky is I get to talk about this. Since I do play the fiddle, what's the nickname for our state? We are the bluegrass state. I know that in a lot of your classes you all hear that there's that special region in Kentucky where the grass actually does look kind of blue. And that's true. But another big reason why we are called the bluegrass state is because bluegrass music started here. There was a man named Bill Monroe, and he was the father of bluegrass music. And he actually came from Ohio County, just like me. I've been to his house, and I think it's really neat because every year now we have a festival. Bluegrass music is known all over the world, and it started here. And here's another really cool thing about Bill Monroe. Just a little trivia item for you. Bill Monroe is the only father of an art to ever come, not just from Kentucky, but from the United States. So being the father of bluegrass music makes him special, and he's done something as a Kentuckian nobody else in our country has ever done. Does that make you a little bit more proud to be a Kentuckian?
Yeah.
In a way? Well, good. Well, we know that we want to make Kentucky proud all the time. And I know that I look out there, I see a lot of bright young minds, a lot of attentive faces, you're being very respectful and you're behaving well. And that's always something good to see whenever I go into these schools. And a question I always like to ask is this, since we are in school. Who in here has a favorite subject of math? Okay. Whose favorite subject is social studies? All right. What about science? See a lot of science hands. Okay. And what about language arts? Okay. Well, here's something that I think is really important. Because who in here does not like reading? Does not like reading. Okay. Put them back down. I don't want to wear your arms out. Put them back down. Okay. Well, here's something that I want to tell you. No matter what it is you want to do throughout your life, reading is really important. So it's good to be good at reading. On top of that too, no matter what you said your favorite thing was to do here at school, even if it's math, what's something you have to do in every single one of those classes? Read, right? So you need to make sure that you're up on those literacy skills and keep going because that's something that's going to benefit you not only now, but then when you're in middle school and high school. All of these things are really important, but all of them can be related back to reading. It's like your foundation for everything. And I know whenever I was in grade school, I enjoyed reading, but I still wasn't the best of readers. But I knew that I had to get better in order to help throughout the rest of the years that were coming ahead of me. And really, that's what helped me get here too. So at this point, I always like to see if anybody has any questions. You all can ask me anything. Yeah. She wants to know if I'm going to play my fiddle for you. I am. That's why I brought it. He said, how did it feel to be crowned Miss Kentucky? At that last moment, of course, as they narrow it down, it gets to where there are only two of us standing there. And at that point, I'm thinking, am I really still up here? I might win? Really? And so they announced who the runner-up was. Because what that means is that person will walk away and the person left standing is the one who wins. So they announced first runner-up, Claire Butler, and she's a really good friend of mine, and she got first runner-up, and you can see, because I've watched the tape of all of it, but you can see, because I'm looking at her like, I'm so proud of you. And then she makes this face at me, and all of a sudden I just go, oh my gosh, because that's when it sank in. So for me, it was just really unreal for a minute, because I thought, I can't believe it. It finally happened. Here's another thing too. When you all want to accomplish something, if it doesn't happen the first time, do you give up on it? No, right? The first time I competed for Miss Kentucky, do you think I won? No. But what about that second time? No. Not the second time either. You know that phrase, third time's the charm now? Guess what happened the third time? I lost again. This year was my fourth time in it, and that's when it finally happened. So after working so hard at it every year, I thought, I may not have won this year, but I improved. So I continued to improve, and I continued to have that same dream, because you can't just give up on your dream. So I kept going back. But to finally be crowned that, I felt like all of my hard work was paying off, and it was coming true, so it felt wonderful.
Are you rich?
Am I rich? No. No, I'm not. Here's something about Miss Kentucky. I know you all are still kind of young, but has anybody in here ever thought, someday I'm going to go to college? Okay. I wanted to go to college too, and I just graduated from the University of Kentucky. You see a couple UK shirts. But whenever I knew it was getting close to time for college, I thought, how am I going to pay for it? Because I needed scholarship, because I'm not rich. You know, I needed something to help me pay for my school. Miss Kentucky awards you with scholarship money, and it helps you pay for school. So no, being someone who was not rich, this was a good opportunity for me to be able to pay for my school. What was I wearing when I won the pageant? I was wearing a white gown. It kind of looked silver in the light, but that's what I was wearing. Yeah. I get asked this question at every school that I go to. And I'm sad to say that at this point in time, there's not a Mr. Kentucky. But I think that there should be. Because of course I look out here and I see a lot of faces and I think that might be a future Miss Kentucky. Because I see, you know, all the beauty and I see all the intellect, because I can just look at this room and tell how smart you are by the way you act. But then I also look at the boys and I see the same thing. And I think, we need a program for young men like that too, because I know that in the state of Kentucky they would love to have a male or a boy to be a role model as well. So I think we should, but we don't have it yet. He wants to know how old I am. So I'll give it to you in a math problem. Are you ready? Ready for your thinking caps on? Okay. Who in here is 8 years old? Anybody? Okay, I saw a couple of hands. When I was 8 years old, I started playing the fiddle. I have now been playing the fiddle for 16 years. So how old am I? There you go. Somebody already answered it. Where am I counting? I'll tell you. 19. I'm 24. I am 24 years old. So very good job during the math problem. He wanted to know if I played in orchestra whenever I was 8 years old. I know a lot of schools here in Davis County do have orchestra, but the schools that I went to, we didn't. I had heard of this really cool bluegrass musician. Her name was Allison Krauss. And the thing she is most known for is she's a really good singer. Guess who can't sing at all? Me. But I really liked her music, and I thought just because I can't sing doesn't mean I can't be like her, because she was my role model. She's played the fiddle too, but most people just didn't know that. And I thought, I'm going to be like her because I'm going to play the fiddle. So I started playing fiddle instead.
Are you the only Miss Kentucky in Owensboro?
Am I the only Miss Kentucky in Owensboro? At least today I am. I don't know. Because there are there are a couple of different Miss Kentuckys. There's the Miss Kentucky that goes to Miss America, which is what I went to about a month ago. And then there's the Miss Kentucky that goes to Miss USA. And one thing that people always ask is, what is the difference? Miss America is the group that uses talent as part of competition, and Miss USA does not do talent. So we have to use talent as part of our competition. She said, what is the hardest part? Being Miss Kentucky, I'm required to live in the city of Lexington. Have you all heard of Lexington before? Lexington, Kentucky. Okay. Well, I lived there because of school, so I just went ahead and stayed another year. But I do have a base there, like I live there, but I have to travel all over the state. So some mornings I have to get up around 3 o'clock in the morning, get ready, and then hit the road to make sure that I'm there on time. Because something we know about good leaders and people who are responsible is that we get to places on time. It's called being punctual. So I have to make sure that I'm punctual. And that's one of the hardest things for me because I do like my sleep. So whenever I have to get up extra early, sometimes it's hard, but then I just think, it shouldn't be hard. You're Miss Kentucky, you have a great day ahead of you, and that normally helps me get on up. He wants to know what my favorite sport is. My favorite sport to participate in is swimming. I used to do long distance swimming. And then my favorite sport to watch is basketball, but I also really like baseball. But my favorite sport season is football. Because I like the fall, that's when football happens. But in all honesty, I think all athletics are great because all of them require something different. So I think they're all really wonderful. He wants to know if I'm going to be Miss Kentucky again. Here's the sad thing. It is a one-time opportunity. Some girls never even make it to being Miss Kentucky who compete for it. So I'm already lucky. But after that, once you've been Miss Kentucky once, you can't compete again. You're done. Let's get a couple more. Green shirt. She wants to know what my favorite subject in school is. I like language arts because I really enjoy writing. Pink shirt. When's my birthday? She wants to know what my birthday is. My birthday is August 15th. Is that anybody's birthday in here? Alright. I'm gonna go with the black shirt. Hold on a second, I need to hear your classmate. She doesn't know if I was popular in school. Guess what? Not at all. Whenever I was in 4th grade, I was actually bullied. And that continued from 4th to 5th to 6th grade. And in 7th grade, I understand what the whole clique thing is. I wasn't in very many people's cliques. But you know what? I didn't care. I decided I was just going to be me. And I was going to go through life. And that was what was important. I just found my happiness, and I did have my friends. So for me, it was more about just being myself and living life the way I wanted to and not worrying about other people or being popular. So I just made sure that I enjoyed what I did, and the rest of it followed, and I think that turned out pretty good. Last one for now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She wants to know if you just walk in to compete for Miss Kentucky. You don't. Because you also have to win what's called a preliminary contest. It's a contest you have to win before you even go to Miss Kentucky. And there are different titles for all of those that you win too. So before I was Miss Kentucky this year, I was Miss My Old Kentucky Home. So then I went on to Miss Kentucky and I won that. That's the same thing, that's how Miss America works too. You can't just walk into Miss America and compete. You have to win one of the states before you get there. So it's a step-by-step process. And I was really excited because, no, I didn't win Miss America, but that really didn't bother me because I got to come back here to the state of Kentucky, which I love so much, and I get to talk to you all, and I get to do this job. Because in a lot of the states, the state winners don't have that year-long job. They just go to Miss America and then they're done until they crown the next girl. And I think that's sad, because it's good to have a nice busy year and being able to make a difference. But I was really proud because I got to represent Kentucky well, and I made top 12 at Miss America. And then I got a talent award, and out of all the girls who played the instruments, I got the highest score, and I got the instrumentalist award. And speaking of instruments, I'm going to ask you all a question. Would you all like to hear a little music? Yes! You give me just a second, I will get it out. And you all are going to notice something really different about my fiddle, okay? So hold on just a second. So can anybody guess what my favorite color is? It did. Alright, so one more quick science question. We did a math question earlier, so let's do a science question for you now. Most of the time when you see fiddles or violins, they're brown, right? Okay, so what they use to make it brown is a wood stain. The same thing they use on wooden furniture that might be in your house to make it brown. This isn't brown, so it wasn't wood stain. What do you think they used to make it green? And here's the part that makes it more of a science question. It has to be the same consistency as a wood stain, which means it's a liquid and has to feel the same, move the same, and soak into wood the same way. It has to have the same kind of properties. So what do you think it was?
Grass stains.
Not grass stains. Not spray paint. It's not that. She said chlorophyll. It's not that, but I just want to say that was a really good answer because out of all the schools I've been to so far, nobody has said that, but that was thinking really smart. Not paint. Yeah. There's not green wood stain. Okay, what do you normally put? Maybe an icing to make it green. What is it? Food coloring. So they use food coloring to make it a little green. Isn't that neat? Okay, well now, I always ask this question. I probably don't even have to though, but I think that's what you're going to say. But would you all rather hear something fast or something slow? I like fast better too. Do we have any new bluegrass music fans? After that one? Well, very cool. Any questions about the fiddle? How did I do that? Well, like I said, I have been playing the fiddle now in April. The month of April will make 16 years that I've been playing the fiddle. So it's taken a long time to get to the level that I'm at, but guess what? I'm still learning. I feel like I learn something new almost every time that I play. I'll hear a certain note and think, I can make that a little bit better, or I can play it a little bit smoother, or I can make that harmony and that pitch a little bit better. Because just like school, playing the fiddle, you're never completely done learning. You can always make it better. Go ahead.
Yeah, why doesn't your crown move on your head whenever you play?
And so why doesn't your crown move? Would you believe me if I said it's magic? Well, my talent is not being a magician, and it's not magic. On top of my head, do you see the little white band that goes across in the middle of the crown? Okay, well that's an elastic piece, and then I just use hairpins and I push it into my hair, so like it fastens it to my hair. That's what keeps it nice and still.
When you were in school, did you sign up for any clubs?
For any clubs? She said, when you were in school, did you sign up for any clubs? I did. I was in a lot of different clubs. I was in things like Beta, FFA, which is Future Farmers of America. I did OC Drug Free, which was Ohio County Drug Free, and it was just talking about not using drugs. I was in the Honor Society, and then there were just a few different ones that I would continue to try. I did FCA and then a couple other ones as well. There was also one that I really enjoyed. It was called Girls in Science, and it was a club that was only girls and it was only about science, but it was a lot of fun. He said, "Are the diamonds on your crown real?" No, they are not. They aren't. Same thing goes for the ones on my sash. They're actually something called a rhinestone, and you can get those at craft stores pretty cheap. Because here's something about the crown and sash. Do you think that being Miss Kentucky is about wearing them? No, it isn't, right? But if I walked in here and I didn't have on the crown or sash and I just said, "Hey, I'm Miss Kentucky," would you believe me?
No.
Probably not. You'd probably just think, who's the crazy girl saying she's Miss Kentucky? So I have to have both of them because it proves who I am. So that's what I normally do with it, yeah. He asked, can I do a backflip? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I did swimming in high school, volleyball, and golf. And I really enjoyed those. But I could not do any other sports for the most part because I normally didn't seem to be coordinated the correct way for the other ones. Cheerleading being one of those because there is no way I could do a backflip. No way. Yeah. Which sport? He wants to know who my favorite sports team is for basketball. Where did I tell you all I graduated from?
Kentucky.
UK. But I don't have anything against the other ones. I want to make that clear, but they are my favorite. He noticed that I have the hummingbird on my fiddle, and he asked why. Whenever I turned 18, I actually asked for that for my birthday, just because I think they're pretty, and I thought it would make a nice addition to my fiddle. I thought it looked pretty on here.
Can you play Flight of the Bumblebee?
She asked if I could play Flight of the Bumblebee. I wish that I could, because that is a beautiful song, but I have not learned that one. He said, is a fiddle a violin? I'm going to tell you my favorite way to remember, because they are different. But do you know what the difference is? I'll tell you. A violin has strings, and a fiddle has strings. Okay. And so you know, even if you just remember the joke part, it'll help you remember what the real difference is, because they are made exactly the same way. Even on this one, I have played more violin, classical music, but that's the difference. It's the type of music that you play. And so you heard whenever I said fiddle, I said string. So that's more bluegrass and country. And you can it sounds a little more country. But then whenever you play violin, it's classical music. And that's the main difference. It's just whose hands it's in, what music you play. Yeah. She asked what team I was on whenever I was in swimming. I was on Ohio County High School's team.
Did you ever see any bass players?
Did I ever see any bass players?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I'm actually in a bluegrass band, and a friend of mine plays the stand-up bass for us. And of course, that's another instrument that can be played either as a country bluegrass or as a classical, depending on how you do it. Because you know, the classical way, they hold it up like this, and they use the bow on it. But whenever it's bluegrass, they just pick it. But we had a bass player in our band. Yeah. She says, is that the only instrument you play? I have tried a few of the other ones. I have kind of small hands, and I wanted to play guitar, but I can't really reach all of the chords on those. Same thing goes for piano, but I play fiddle, and I can play pretty decently on a mandolin because it is noted the same as a fiddle, but it's like a smaller guitar. Let's get just a couple more. Right there. Yeah. How many songs do I know on the fiddle? I really wish I knew how many that I knew, because I'm somebody who I can play music because I can read music, but I also teach myself by ear. which means whenever I hear music, I can sit and I can teach that song to myself because I know what it sounds like. So over the years, I have thought, ooh, I want to learn this one. Oh, I want to learn this one. So I learned too many songs, I think, to be able to tell you for sure how many I know. And this is going to be the last one right now. Let's get the pink shirt in the back. How many times can you? Can anybody help pass that question up to me? Oh, very good. How many months can I stay Miss Kentucky? 12, because you can be Miss Kentucky for a year. I was crowned on July 12th of this year, 2014, and I crowned the next Miss Kentucky on July 4th of 2015. So before it's time to wrap things up, would you all like to hear another song?
What's in the brown box?
Then afterwards, I might get a couple more questions. So hold on just a second. So another question for you all. Do you all want another fast one? Okay. I hear a couple of requests for slow ones. So let's make everybody happy since we didn't get a fast one already. I'm going to play you my favorite slow song. And it's a really important song in the state. So I'm going to see if anybody in here actually knows what it is.